This program contains movie spoilers. Viewers are advised to proceed on their own discretion.
Hello, namaste. I'm Bijaya Adhikari. That's not the relevant name. Welcome to I Like to Movie It. That, however, is the relevant one. Here in this show, I advocate original screenplays and have been a blind follower and a firm believer of organic films for the past 7 years. With that being said, it has always been a terrain too tough to traverse and shout at the top of my lungs from the mountain tops as to what exactly an organic movie is. Well, movies like Dolly, Kitty or Woh Chamakte Sitare seem to help out. Shift the story to the West, they will laugh it off. Sex is food, sex is water. What is the point of being frigid or frozen as the movie calls it and living with it for 2 damn years? They won't answer, they don't have an answer. Shift the story to a more conservative society. They will find your daughters unapologetic. They will find them to be whores. They will burn effigies of vagina installations. You have to watch the movie to understand the reference. For me, this Alankrita Shrivastava movie is a 3.5-star bearing story that talks about sex, and a little more than those 5 stars of Chamakte Sitare. Dolly, Kitty or Woh Chamakte Sitare is a very today story. We follow a wife mother, Radha aka Dolly, played by the awesome Konkona Sharma, who is living with an immobile sex life with her husband and projects her frigidity out with a makeshift, well-to-do lifestyle that is neither cute nor vulgar. Enter her cousin sister, Kajal, played by Bhumi Pednekar, a naive village girl from Bihar who expects to make a better life at Greater Noida, where her elder cousin is. Kajal dubs into Kitty when she takes up a job in a call-in romance center. Amongst psychological redefinitions of why her son is queer, Dolly attempts to figure out her own sexual liberations, while Kajal finds that all men are perverts even when she falls madly in love with one. What is most admirable about this movie is it takes a big risk of bringing in so many different walks of lives, telling so many parallel stories and yet threads them all together neatly. Even though the entire plotline revolves around sexual revelations, I strongly believe that the philosophy here is emancipation. Yes, I did have polarizing thoughts, I'm not going to lie. A woman wrote this movie and directed this movie. 2 women are the leads in this movie. As a given, men's existentialism is highly questioned. Our sexuality has been taken into custody. But I applaud Alankrita Shrivastava's approach. She made a movie where existentialism has little or nothing to do with the pacing and shaping of the characters. It is how men are and how a patriarchal redefining boxes up women's desires or undesires. While the story is all and everything about Dolly and Kitty, the secondary characters, Dolly's husband Amit played by Amir Bashir and their sons, Dolly's mother, Kitty's parents, Osman Ansari the delivery boy played by Amol Parashar and Kajal aka Kitty's love interest played by Vikram Mase, all of them however make up what this movie's society is all about. All their zigzags intertwining with each other seem a bit messy at first, but they boil down to just one statement which has been intricately uttered by Kajal's character.
कभी-कभी नफरत होता है खुद से, फिर कभी-कभी लगता है कि अगर यही सर्विस औरत लोगों के लिए होता तो कितना अच्छा होता।
Konkona Sharma, I believe, is still an underappreciated artist. She slips into any roles as if they were written for her. In this movie too, her character is consistent throughout and you can actually make a fine arc of how her character develops from this pretentious Noidan mother-wife to a fiercely independent woman. She, however, quickly overshadows Bhumi Pednekar's Kitty character, whose character development races through the entire movie run. I think Alankrita Shrivastava rushed through Kitty while she finally molded Dolly into shape. The secondary characters played by Amir Bashir, Amol Parashar and Vikram Mase were not just befitting to their roles, but their presence made the air fill with this required essence needed to either support or antagonize with the lead characters. Particularly, Amol Parashar's work as the delivery boy Osman Ansari adds exquisite color to Dolly's character. And this is something that I've always said. If a secondary character has enough space to accommodate in the title of the movie, that secondary character is not secondary anymore. Additionally, the child artist Kalp Shah, who plays Dolly's queer son Pappu, is easy to the eyes, easily sympathized and adds another flavor to the palette. A lot can be said about this movie. well-rounded characters, well-fleshed story, and well-defined sexual awakening. But all said and done, there are stones in the fine grains of sand, which I have already mentioned the risk that the director took by putting in all the eggs in the same basket. Let me illustrate it for you. While Dolly's son Pappu does add flavor, his story fades within his mother's. His story arc required more complexity, so much so that by the end of the movie I was craving a little more of it, maybe even a sequel, I don't really know. The same goes out for Dolly's mother, played by Neelima Azmi. She is a guest star, I know, but maybe that story needed more meat into it. And finally, let me talk about the art direction of the movie. I'm not an expert nor an accomplished artist, but why was there a need to put so much color in Dolly and Amit's house? It was overtly distracting. Overall, Dolly Kitty or Woh Chamakte Sitare is an example of fine filmmaking. It's an organic story that will go down in history as one of the most important Hindi films under sexual awakening category. Alankrita Shrivastava has done a hat trick with commendable pieces: Lipstick Under My Burqa, Made in Heaven, and now this, Dolly Kitty or Woh Chamakte Sitare.